have decided to found Nishane in 2010 with the idea that if we could have a niche perfume brand from Istanbul, it will be one of the biggest brands in the whole world. So it was our main intention. But when we went deep into the perfumery world, we saw that it's like an ocean, so it's so easy to be lost in between. We thought that our preliminary preparation period would take only 1 year. It ended up with only 5 years, so it took 5 years for us before we first launched. So in 2015 we launched our collections. And apart from the Istanbul touch in all our perfumes, what we try to do is to storytell. So storytelling with our perfumes is the most important issue that we work like 24 hours together with Mert. And people are appreciating our storytelling aspect. So it is, we are so into arts. We see perfume as a form of art. That's why, people appreciating our storytelling is really a blessing to us too. Wulong Cha belonged to our first collection when we presented our first collection in 2015, 11 years ago. And we had all these perfumes, but in our list, in our numbering codes, Wulong Cha was number 1. It is our first ever scent that we created. We decided to start this journey from Eastern influence. That's why we started with Wulong Cha, so it's also one of our favorites.
So as Murat said, Istanbul being literally in the middle of the world and between East and West, you have to know that in Turkey, the tea culture is also super important. So this is why this perfume is very dear and important to us. So with this scent, you have to know also that this is popular in Asia, but this is popular everywhere in the world. If you go to Latin America, if you go to the Middle East, this is the perfume that's super important. And this is the original story. So this perfume, the inspiration comes originally then from China, in a small region called Yunnan, which is in the southeast of Asia. And in this area, you literally get the oolong tea leaves, which I'm sure you know. And the idea here was to give to the people the image of waking up in a beautiful tea garden. So with Wulong Cha in the opening, you get this beautiful opening full of citruses, of energy. You also have a beautiful note called Lycea, which is a sort of verbena. It is very famous to have all these medicinal aspects, which helps people to sleep, to be more focused and relaxed. So everybody that experiences Wulong Cha always gets this beautiful feeling of calmness and relaxiness. And then after, of course, you have the beautiful tea note that you will experience throughout all the life of the scent. And to finish and to make a sort of tribute again to Istanbul, you have a beautiful fig note, which in this case, in Turkey, you have all these beautiful fig trees, and it pays tribute again to the relationship between East and West. If you haven't tried it, we really encourage you to try it, because it is really, since the launch of the scent, a beautiful scent.
But I can also suggest you trying Wulong Cha X. That 2 years ago we launched a newer version of Wulong Cha, but this time we added some magnolia, some flower notes, and it is even a little lighter. So Wulong Cha X could be a good.
You will see also with Wulong Cha X that the perfumer Julien Asconet was a very big fan of Asia. And in the opening, you will smell the beautiful note of yuzu, which I'm sure everyone here is familiar with, and I'm sure you will find it even more sparkly, beautiful, and bright. Everybody being a very big fan of Wulong Cha, it is a question that we often get. People always ask us if we're going to make a sort of cream or a sort of oil for the body, and this is actually what we have made with this one. So for the people who love to have like the full package of this Wulong Cha perfume, we created this body spray that you can use to groom yourself, of course, and to finish and complete your skincare journey that would make sense. In this product, you also have the CPF protection, so when the sun is hitting, you also get protected.
Of course, I can start with the story of it, meant to be seen. Meant to be seen, we have launched in Cannes, September 2025, so it's at the end of September. So it's been only like 7 months or something. But it is already in the world one of the top sellers wherever you go. So it's out of stock constantly, so people are crazy about it. Because there is a perfect story behind. So we have worked with Jordi Fernandez, who is like one of the stars of the perfumery for the last years. But Jordi is always coming up some different edgy scents, so it was so difficult for us to convince him to work with us for this scent. Because for Meant to be Seen, first of all, the name is coming from a quote by Marilyn Monroe. So Marilyn Monroe, when she was, acting, she was posing for the magazines, etc. To be able to tease him, some paparazzi, some journalists, squeeze her and ask her why you are always naked in those pictures and films, movies, etc. And she said this very famous line, our bodies are not all to be covered up, they are meant to be seen. So we just felt that this is a very touchy story because in the world there are a lot of people whose voices are not heard. They are not seen at all as if they don't exist. So we just want with this perfume to underline this fact, and everybody should have a voice in any matter important to them. So we have to listen to them, etc. So that's why together with Mert, we decided that this perfume should be a skin scent. Oh, sorry. So to be able to really fulfill this story with a perfume creation, we decided to have a skin scent. There is a certain perfume genre called skin scent. So this is imitating like your skin, so it should be an animalic musky note. So in this case, we are giving it with Sreton. So the muskiness is coming from there. So we didn't want this perfume to scream, but still it should gather the attentions and you are going to get a lot of compliments. For example, I know in Japanese culture, the respect is so important. Respect to the others. Even you cannot, kind of make them disturbed or uncomfortable with your scent. So that's why I believe it will be a great fit. It's meant to be seen. So still people will see that you are smelling so good, but why not disturbing them? Hacivat is our #1 scent. It is the best seller in the whole world. And Hacivat is the reason why Nishane is so popular, because everybody is crazy. It has a big global fan base. Actually, we worked on Hacivat almost 2.5, 3 years. The main idea was to come up with the most strongest citrus scent. But no matter how we tried in this 2.5 years, we were never satisfied with the end result. It was perfect, but something was missing. Then at last, we have added this pineapple and oak notes, and then the perfume became something extraordinary, something really different and beautiful. At first, people, before smelling it, they thought that it is very similar to Creed's Aventus, which is very famous. Everybody knows that they have pineapple in their formula. It was a really risky thing for Nishane because we never copied someone. They would say that Nishane made a clone of Aventus. But thank God, the perfume community, they understood and they realized that this is a completely different scent. So thank God, we are here now. Now, vice versa, if you check internet, there are thousands of brands copying Hacivat, and they clearly say that this is a dupe and clone of Hacivat, and which is sad, but also something that we are proud of.